time for Nerdgasm.
Hey, what's up, Nerdgasm fans? Jerry here, aka Barnacules. I'm here with Marshall Long from @FinalHash. Now, we're out here at, I would say, what's going to be the largest Bitcoin mine in North America. It's somewhere in Washington. I can't disclose the location because it's super duper secret. But you can tell from looking around, it sure as hell doesn't look like what you'd think a Bitcoin mine would look like. All right, guys, when we're talking about Bitcoin mining, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should go and watch my original video I did on Bitcoin mining. Marshall liked that video a lot. There's a link down in the video description. I go through and explain painstakingly every detail about how Bitcoins work and how the mining operation works and everything. This is just a very big version of what I'm doing at my house. Like right now, I think I'm running like an Antminer S3 Plus and a Spawn Dually SP20, totaling about 2 terahash a second.
So take what Jerry's doing, times it about 1,000, that's what you got.
That's what they're doing here. So the whole idea with a big Bitcoin mine like this is to efficiently pack as many of these miners as they can into a small space, get the cooling right.
Perfect.
So that you can run this stuff 24/7 and then get the power as cheap as humanly possible so that you can maximize your profits.
That's right, that's right.
And it's realistically an actual mining operation. Like you can pretty much attribute everything that's going on here to like a real gold mining operation. It's like you have heavy equipment, you have cost, you have fuel costs, and you have recovery.
Everything.
That you then go and sell and turn into real money.
That's right.
All right, guys, well, let's go check out some of the mining equipment that you're gonna be seeing today, and then we're gonna move on to some of the huge containers that are built out as giant data centers that have one purpose in life, and that is just to mine Bitcoins. All right, guys, so we're here looking at some of the equipment that's pretty much the cornerstone of this mining operation. Right here, it's not what they use exclusively, but I'd say this is primarily what you're using
like
right
85%.
now. So 85%, but it's the Antminer series. You have the S3 Plus, which you guys have seen. I actually run this guy up in the Nerd Cave. And then we have the bigger boy. This is the Antminer S4, which this thing is capable of, what's the hash rate on this guy?
About 2,000 gigahash.
So 2,000 gigahash on this guy, or otherwise known as about 2 terahash, right?
Yep.
2 terahash, and it consumes about 1,400 watts of power, and that's important, and we're going to get to that. And then over here you have the mighty efficient Antminer S5.
Right.
And this guy does what? We said about
1.15 terahash, that's right.
1.15 terahash, and it only uses 600 watts of power. Now, here's where this all gets important. The most commonly asked question that I get on my Instagram posts and my Twitter posts are, I thought Bitcoin mining isn't profitable anymore.
Right, everybody says it.
Like, I'm obviously doing it. Is it profitable for me? The answer is yes. Is it profitable for you? That depends. There's a lot of factors. Like, first and foremost, probably the biggest factor here is power cost.
That's right.
Right here in Washington State where I live, I pay about 10 cents a kilowatt for power where I live. Now, when you get power in bulk, you get a substantial discount depending on how you work the deal and everything, but he is not paying 10 cents a kilowatt.
Most definitely not.
So he's getting a lot better deal than that. But 10 cents a kilowatt is already a steal of a deal compared to like the East Coast in the United States, which can be 35 cents a kilowatt.
Yeah, that's right.
Now realize that when we're talking about hash rate, that's how fast this machine can generate hashes, which ultimately means how much money the machine is capable of making, more or less. There's different types of mining, but in a general pool mining scenario, the faster and more hash rate you have, the better off you're going to be earning coin.
The quicker you'll earn the coin.
Correct. So this guy right here, I'm just now getting into, this is the S5, 600 watts, 1.15 terahash.
Right. It's actually the most efficient miner on the market that's commercially available right now.
Exactly. So efficiency is huge with this, because this is the way you figure out if Bitcoin is profitable. You take the cost of the equipment, you take the cost of your power, and you figure out basically how much the machine is making over a fixed period of time.
Over how much it costs you to run it.
Yeah, and you also have to keep in mind that Bitcoin fluctuates in value up and down. And just like with anything, that's going to be a risk. But it's no different than gold mining. The analogy that I would use is if you go in your backyard with a pan and you pan a little bit of dirt, you might make 10 cents. That's not really profitable. It's going to take you a while to pay for your pan, right? But if you go and get a giant piece of equipment, open up a mine and set up a sluice box, and you're going to get a lot more gold a lot faster, but there is higher risk involved and things like that. But ultimately, there are a lot of different options for mining. But for this operation we're looking at today, they have dense packed this equipment in shipping containers. And we're going to show you that here in just a few minutes. But By dense packing it and optimizing the efficiency of the cooling on this equipment so they can run it 24/7 and maximize that turnover, they're able to make a profit, and it's a tidy profit. All right, guys, so now we're standing inside of one of the shipping containers that are going to build out to be one of the big mining rigs, and they have several of these, and we're going to show you in different states of development. But right now, you can see behind us, it's basically a giant shipping container that has holes cut in the roof for ventilation. And this is important because these things pump out a lot of heat.
A lot.
Just to give you an idea, how much power do you guys have piped into one of these?
Per container, it's about 300 kilowatts. So
300 kilowatts.
30 to 35 houses worth.
It's a lot of power. Like my house where I live, I have 100 kilowatt service.
And that's a lot.
And that's a lot. And this has 3 times that coming into one shipping container.
About 40
it's
foot.
Roughly, what, 40 foot long? It's pretty insane. All right, so if you look on the back of the container, they weld a carriage in place here that's designed to store the transformers.
That's right.
To provide that, what it was, the 300
about
kilowatts
300 kW, yeah.
of power. So they have to put a lot of power equipment on these. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of these containers that's a little bit further down the road in development. All right, so now we're in a container that's even a little bit further along. You can see here on the walls, we have all the junction boxes that run the length, and this is to distribute all of the power to everything. And plus, you guys even have cable racks running down the full length. Back here, you can see, look, that's all, hey, good point.
Don't touch that.
Here, do it, Vanna White it, dude. Vanna White it. Oh. Yeah, basically, don't touch that panel or you'll be vaporized.
Instantly.
Yeah, it's all 220 breakers.
Yeah.
And like you said, 300 kilowatts coming in here. But this is, now it's all wired up. And at this point, let's go ahead and show you what one of the containers looks like when it's like full tilt, giving it the business.
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right, Marshall, I think it's time to give them the money shot. What do you think?
Give it to them.
All right, so after they're done building out these containers, this is the end result. Look at how many of these machines are in here. You got S4s, S5s, everything. Actually, this looks like it's mostly S4s, huh?
Mostly S4s in here.
This is literally the loudest place ever. It's like being in a wind tunnel. You got air blowing through the top. Move your hair out. I mean, these things are all blowing out massive air. But this is 300 kilowatts of power running through this damn thing. And it feels like you're in a sauna. Even with all this cooling, it is like, what is it, like 100 plus degrees in here?
I'd say it's about 90.
90 degrees in here, it's like a wind tunnel. You can't even convey how it feels, guys. You would not want to have to work in here all day. You would not. Now the cooling in here is so efficient that if you put your hand back here behind the units where they're drawing air, it's freezing cold. It is nice ice cold air coming in here. You put your hand in the front, down the center, it is burning, burning hot. And all that air is channeled up and evacuated out by those 3 giant fans. Hopefully you guys can hear me because it is loud. So if you're asking yourself, is Bitcoin mining profitable? On this scale, hell yes it is. Hey guys, watch Marshall struggle closing the container.
I got it. Don't worry.
Leprechaun power! All right, so now we're standing outside where it's mildly quiet again, and the container is all sealed up, and that's when it works best, right?
That's right.
So it's designed to have all the air go up through and out the top, and not in through the end there. So that's good to know. And it's actually not that loud out here. You definitely notice it though.
Oh yeah.
All right, so now you guys got to see how a huge up-and-coming Bitcoin operation works, and there is a lot of energy and money that goes into something like this. But we circle back to the original question. Is it really profitable to do something like this?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a loaded question, you know? So there's a lot of factors that go into what makes you profitable. Number one being power cost. That's why we're here in Washington that got some of the cheapest power in the States.
Yeah, I pay 10 cents a kilowatt. Like we said, he's paying not even close to that.
Much less.
Yeah.
And so that's the first thing. Next thing is, what equipment are you running? There's some very inefficient equipment from, you know, the old outdated stuff.
Right.
That outmode stuff will cost you an arm and a leg in power. And that's another thing. And the other thing that will be the third and last thing that really makes you profitable for sure is going to be your mining strategy.
So realistically, Bitcoin mining, if you want to get into it, check and see how much your power is. Check and see how much you can get equipment for if you want to mine out of your own house, and make sure that you have the power and cooling to support it. Obviously, if you live in a tropical environment, you have to run an air conditioner in full tilt while paying 35 cents a kilowatt. You're probably never going to make anything with no matter how efficient the equipment is right now. But if you want, you can rent equipment through Beta Rigs or other sites that do stuff like that. There's lots of different options. There's cloud mining too, which we even talked about a little bit in the past. But there are lots of options out there for people that are interested to get into Bitcoin mining. And just like anything, Bitcoin mining is a volatile currency, just like anything else. It can go up, it can go down. It can be $175 one day and it can be $285 the next day. Now granted, BTC is the most stable of the cryptocurrencies. The other ones are like, woo! Bitcoin at least kind of stays in the realm of realistic. So that's why I continue to mine Bitcoin, even though it may seem to be lucrative to go after some of the other coins. Bitcoin is just the one that seems most stable to me. And it's one of those things where it's like, with my little operation I have at my house, last time I checked, I'm making about $150 a month profit once you take power away.
Right.
That's awesome. I have 2 machines just sitting there running. One's heating my garage, the other one's heating the nerd cave. That one I kind of need to move. I don't want anything heating the nerd cave. But the fact of the matter is, those 2 machines do turn a profit at the end of the month, which is awesome. They do provide a heat source in the wintertime, which is just an extra added bonus. And so for me, it's absolutely profitable. But if you're on the East Coast, you're paying 35, 40 cents a kilowatt, or you're in a country like was it Brazil, where you're just paying completely out the ass for electricity, then look at some sites like Beta Rigs if you're still interested. It doesn't mean you're out, it just means it's not practical for you to mine in your house with your own equipment. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this tour of this awesome Bitcoin mining facility. I want to thank Marshall Long here from Final Hash for giving me the 5-cent tour. They are doing some crazy stuff here. That container I showed you that was completely filled with equipment was just one of many containers. You guys saw containers at different stages throughout this video, but you guys are building out a lot of containers. And what was the goal, the hash goal that you guys are shooting for when you're all said and done?
Yeah, so at the end of the rollout will be about 5,000 terahashes, which is around 5 million gigahashes, or 5 petahashes.
It's a lot of hashes. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Till next time. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please take a moment and subscribe to my channel. It helps me a lot. Also come over to Twitter. I'm at Barnacules. I'm a real social guy. Also, if you have a couple of minutes, check out some of these many other videos. I made them myself.